Hi, I'm Pastor Michael Schmidt. I'd like to ask you a question. What knowledge does the sermon on Sunday morning and regular Bible class assume? The answer is that the sermon and Bible class both assume that the hearer or the student has an understanding of the story of the Scriptures. The sermon delves deep into a particular text of perhaps between 10 and 15 verses, and Bible class is covering a topic or a book that assumes knowledge of the surrounding area. If you study the book of Ruth, it assumes that you have knowledge about what comes before in Joshua and Judges and what's going to come after in 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings. Now ask yourself, do you have that understanding? Do you know the Scriptures so that when someone makes a reference to an Old Testament account or a New Testament epistle, you have that understanding, that you can make the connection and continue to follow the point? For most people, unfortunately, the answer is no. In our current generation, there is a vast biblical illiteracy that penetrates all corners of the world, all corners of the church. There is a vast lack of understanding of the story of the Scriptures. And you can go online and you can do all the Bible studies you want, but they all begin with the assumption that you have some understanding of the story of the Scriptures. That if you were to drop down into a Bible study on the book of Daniel, you would understand the story of God's people prior and the story that's going to follow after. Even when we get to the Gospels, there is an assumption that you understand what happened before in the Old Testament and what's going to follow afterward in the book of Acts and the epistles and going forward throughout church history. So where do you gain this knowledge? Where do you gain this basic understanding of the Scriptures? Prior to today, the answer has been nowhere. But today, that answer changes. Creative Communications has released a new Bible study that Pastor Philip Hoppy and I have co-authored, titled, "These Things Are Written, the Story of God and His People." This Bible study provides that basic understanding, that basic knowledge that you need going forward for future Bible studies and for future sermon listening is all found here in this Bible study. These things are written, the story of God and His people. In 26 lessons, we cover the story of God and His people. We begin with the book of Genesis and we continue right through to the book of Revelation. We don't cover every verse and every chapter, but we do cover the highlights. We do cover the main points of the Scriptures, telling you the basic background information that you need so that you can go forth and study the rest of the Scriptures with that basic understanding. We cover the Old Testament and we cover the New Testament. We cover the highlights. We give the bird's eye view of the entire Bible so that you might better understand and better know God's Word, so that you might better be in the Word going forward, this day and always. You can pre-order the Bible study right now through Creative Communications. It will begin shipping next week. The Bible study is available in both a student and leader guide format and is perfect for individual Bible study, for confirmation class, for adult Bible class, or for small group Bible studies. We pray that this Bible study would encourage you to be in the Word this day and always. May the Lord bless your day.